following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. It's a Hump Day edition of Main Street Sports today. Coming up, the fellows will chat with Brady McAtamney from Main Street Preps to see what's happening in the Clarksville, Montgomery County area. Also, Brett McMurphy, Action Sports Network, will join us around 3 o'clock this afternoon to talk a little college football. That's right, always a good time to talk football. Recapping college basketball last night. The Vols' big win over Kentucky. Vandy at Auburn tonight. That and more coming up. Now, live to the Lee Company studio on location at Columbia State Community College. Playing a little baseball today with the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton. Here is the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
That's right here at Dave Hall Field, home of the Columbia State Community College Chargers. They take on Freed Hardeman today in their home opener. We talked to Mike Korn yesterday. If you missed that interview, you can go back and check out the podcast or watch it on a video. Glad to have you guys with us here and looking forward to a great show. We have a fantastic show coming up, so it's going to be great. Mo, how's it going, man? It's a nice day out.
Well, it's going better for me than it's going for Brock Puckett. I'm sorry. the Charger starter, one pitch, one double in the right center field gap there, but they are underway on the field here. Freed Hardeman, one out, one on, nobody out. 0-2 count early on. So, but it's nice to be out here, man, checking out some baseball. As we talked to Coach Korn yesterday, didn't get a whole lot of opportunity to get out here last year with the pandemic restrictions that were going on. So it's nice to get out and enjoy some baseball.
We did get out here one time, and there were folks out in the center field.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, on the berm.
On the berm out there watching the ball game. So it's nice to see some folks in the stands here at Dave Hall Field.
And it's a pretty good crowd, really, for a Wednesday afternoon, 2 o'clock start. They're playing 2 sevens out here, y'all. So if you get a chance to come out, come on out.
Might as well. What else?
You ain't got nothing else.
What else you got to do?
Yeah, and then stick around because as we get into the rundown here in a little bit, the Columbia State men play Trevecca at 6 over at the Web.
Make it a day. There you go. Make a day of it here at Columbia State. All right, let's. Speaking of the rundown, let's go ahead and get into it because we got a lot to get to. Let's. What do you say? Let's just go ahead and give them yesterday's results and today's schedule.
Here's the rundown.
Tuesday evening boys basketball action. Brentwood High School defeated Summit 72-58 in the regular season finale for both teams. In tournament action, Culleoka went on the road, got a 64-55 overtime victory over Collinwood to open District 10 1A tournament play. Also in 10-1A, Wayne County with a 74-52 win over Hampshire. In 10-2A, Lewis County with a 59-51 win over Mount Pleasant. In District 8-3A, Lawrence County defeats Marshall County 58-51 in overtime. Also in 8-3A, it was Tullahoma 63, Spring Hill 53, despite a 31-point performance from Kayshawn Brashear. And in TSIAA second round tournament action, it was Lighthouse Christian defeating Zion Christian 52-43.
In girls basketball action in regular season, it was Brentwood 59, Summit 45. Nashville Christian ends Columbia Academy's girls season 57-42 in middle region play at Division II. In men's action last night, NCAA, 16th ranked Tennessee with a 76-63 win over 4th ranked Kentucky. It was the Washington Capitals in NHL play over the Nashville Predators 4-1. In the NBA, Grizzlies continue to roll. They get by the Pelicans 121-109.
That 4-1 Capitals win was the return of Peter Laviolette, former Preds coach. So nice performance for his team in that win at Bridgestone. Tonight on the basketball court, District 10 1A girls semifinal action. Santa Fe goes to Wayne County. That's a 6:30 start. Also, Richland at Collinwood at 6:30. And boys, Division 2A Middle Region quarterfinal action. Columbia Academy travels to Clarksville Academy. That's a 6 o'clock start. Again, junior college men's basketball action at 6. Trevecca is at Columbia State. And we've got baseball right here at Dave Hall Field as Freed Hardeman and Columbia State are playing a doubleheader right now.
In NCAA men's action tonight, Jacksonville State go Gamecocks at Lipscomb, 7 o'clock, ESPN Plus. And on SEC Network at 8 o'clock, you can catch Vanderbilt at second-ranked Auburn. Should be a good one. In NBA action, the Portland Trailblazers are at the Memphis Grizzlies. That's a 7 o'clock tip, and I don't think there's any NHL action tonight, so I think that's going to do it for
that Vandy-Auburn game is being televised, right?
SEC Network.
Okay.
That's it. That's today's rundown.
Had to play at the plate on a wild pitch during the rundown here.
2 pass balls. Don't put that on Brock. They were both definitely pass balls, and Coach Mike Korn has let his catcher know that it's not okay for those two to get by him. But yeah, it worked out because he got the out at the plate.
Well, yeah, there you go. So it didn't go down as a pass ball or a wild pitch
That's
since
right.
they got the out.
It turns out it's just
That's
an
a
out.
caught stealing. Yeah. So good for them. We are out of this inning.
Yeah, got out of it.
Despite the leadoff double, it's Freed Hardeman nothing. Columbia State coming to the plate.
So our opening tip, the tip-off for today, Tubby Smith has stepped down as men's basketball coach at High Point University, and his son, Gigi Smith, will take over as head coach. So, Tubby.
Yeah, this is apparently he has come down with COVID again.
Ooh.
Second time in less than a year, and according to the release put out by HPU, having been away from the program for an extended time, that the timing was right for this change. He will continue his involvement at HPU through the end of the year, assisting with alumni and community engagement, as well as fundraising for athletics and other university priorities. And so his son Gigi will take over for this year and for the 22-23.
He's just going to take over the contract.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he had been on staff
Right.
as associate head coach, so he's taking it over, and presumably the end of a fantastic career for Tubby Smith. Prior to returning to his alma mater as head coach, he had been at Memphis, Texas Tech, Minnesota, Kentucky, Georgia, and Tulsa, winning a national championship in '88 at Kentucky, and apparently is one of only 3 head basketball coaches to take 5 different schools to an NCAA tournament appearance.
Wow.
So, that's strong.
Yeah, it's interesting that someone with that type of resume could be at 5 different schools. Because that means he's not been able to stick around a little as long as he probably should have
at some of those schools.
Minnesota, Memphis included.
Yeah.
So,
That's a heck of a point. Yeah.
But the fact that he's been able to do it everywhere he goes, just an absolute testament to his ability as a basketball coach, and a fantastic career again. Tubby Smith, going to step down at High Point. So yeah, that's exciting for Gigi to get a chance to kind of step in and take over that role and see how he follows in his dad's footsteps.
No doubt.
All right, that is today's top story. We've got, again, great show lined up for you. Brady McAtamney coming up here momentarily, and we got some accolades from some different districts in our area. So we'll get to the high school stuff as well. So might as well go ahead and take a break. That way we'll have some extra time on the other side to let folks know about those accolades. So let's go ahead and get out of this break. We'll be right back on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Tune in Thursdays at 1 o'clock for the MSP North podcast featuring Brady McAtamney and Blaine Keller, covering Robertson and Montgomery counties. Check it out on social media, wherever Main Street Media is and wherever you get your podcast. Again, Thursdays at 1, it's the MSP North podcast with Blaine Keller and Brady McAtamney. Now back to the Lee Company studio on location at Columbia State Community College. Here is Mo Patton and Chris Yao.
Welcome back to Dave Hallfield here, and we are in the bottom half, and another pass ball gets a Columbia State runner to second base. So it's interesting how a little early season woes here, but you know they'll get there. They'll get there.
Yeah, maybe breaking balls are breaking a little bit more than these guys are used to or something, because I think it's all been on breaking balls.
Yeah, no question. So we do have some high school news coming out from District 12 4A. We'll start there with the MVP of the girls District 12 4A going to Reagan Grimes of Ravenwood. Not really a big surprise there at all.
Not a big surprise at all. The Lady Raptors were the regular season champions, and she was their best player. She is their best player, headed to Tennessee Tech on a basketball scholarship.
That's unfortunate.
Ouch. That is unfortunate. Liner up the middle, shortstop makes the play and tags it back for a double play to get out of the inning. No score here after one between visiting Freed Hardeman and Columbia State. But yeah, turn it up. Reagan Grimes, the MVP for District 12 4A. First teamers, Janiyah Riley and Josie Parks from Columbia Central. Janiyah Riley, by the way, our player of the week this week, our Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint player of the week. And I guess we kind of announced that a little prematurely since we usually give that hardware out on Thursday.
It's all right.
We'll have a team of the week tomorrow to go with Janiyah. But she and Josie Parks, first team All-District 12 4A, along with Elizabeth Flynn from Ravenwood, Nicole Rizzani from Summit, and Leilani Washington from Nolensville.
And the second team is from Summit, Bergen Ali, Sydney Wright, and Claudette Runk, all getting awards there. It was Natalie Prestigard from Ravenwood and Leah Uber. And so Independence is Leah Uber rounds out the second team. On the boys' side.
Also, Girls Coach of the Year is Ravenwood's Andrew James.
As it should be.
Hey, yeah.
Well done to him. On the boys' side, we got the MVP down here in Southern Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, well, it's all Southern Middle Tennessee, but yeah,
Well,
yeah,
Ravenwood-ish.
yeah, there you go. But yeah, Columbia Central senior Q Martin is the MVP for District 12 4A. Well deserved. First teamers include Bubba Perkins from Columbia Central, Jet Montgomery and Cameron Bell from Independence, DJ Starr from Ravenwood, and Jake Mulder from Ravenwood. So that's your first team. Congratulations to those guys.
Second team includes also from Ravenwood, Matthew Williams, and then from Columbia Central, Jordan Davis, Matthew Witt from Independence, Bradley Stewart from Summit, and Jaden Clark from Nolensville.
And your coach of the year,
The man, the myth, the legend himself.
no doubt, they call him Soup.
For a good reason. Nick Campbell, Columbia Central, head coach. Hey, you know, I love this. Coach of the year, Columbia Central. Nowhere else to say Central. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Anyway.
Oh, well. Yeah.
All right.
Congratulations to him.
Let's talk about some. Go ahead.
We've got District
Oh, that's right.
8,
AAA.
3A boys. Don't know that we've got girls, but on the boys' side, from Spring Hill, Kayshawn Brashear is named to the team, along with Lawrence County's Alex Carr and Luke Boswell. From Lincoln County, you've got Eric Greenwood and Eli Ogle. From Marshall County, Devontae Davis and Jamal Gentry. Page places Ryan Lang, Pierce Brule, whose dad I covered in another lifetime, and Grant Snyder from Page. Also from Tullahoma, you've got Chris Usselton, who sealed the state championship for the Wildcat football team back in December, and Brody Melton. So those are your all-district players from 8 AAA on the boys' side. The MVP is Lincoln County's Owen Sandlin, and the coach of the year is Mark Cornelius of the Falcons. So congrats to all, and hopefully we'll be able to at some point track down the girls all-district 8 AAA team and announce that as well.
All right, let's go to Main Street North. Talk a little 931. Well, of course, we're 931 down here too, but the north side of the 931, Brady McAtamney, joins us now from MainStreetPreps.com. Brady, what's up, man?
How you doing, guys? Looks like you're at a ball game. Not a bad day for one, huh?
It's really not.
It's a little windy, but I mean,
Otherwise,
just pretend we're at Wrigley.
Do you, yeah, exactly. Just pretend we're Wrigley, no doubt. But it's nice out here, man. It could be worse, but great day for baseball,
especially on
in
February 16th.
Yeah, for February 16th, we'll take it.
Yeah, Chris, you probably remember a baseball game's the first place we met at Independence versus Clarksville. That was before we even worked together.
That was a great game too, man.
That was a great game.
Walk-off homer. What a great day. Brady, tell us a little bit about what's going on. Do you have any all-district teams up there that you want to throw out?
Unfortunately, we haven't gotten them out yet.
Gotcha. Okay.
But they're coming. I can definitely give you some predictions. They're going to be some players I'd say are an easy shoe-in that are going to be on those teams, but they're not official yet.
Gotcha. Well, as we get ready, go ahead.
Yeah, before I know Brady, we brought him on to kind of talk a little bit about tonight's Division 2A Middle Region boys quarterfinal game between Columbia Academy and host Clarksville Academy. But before we get into that, there's a young lady in Brady's coverage area that I think just got a scholarship offer from the University of Tennessee.
That's right.
And I wanted to be sure to
we need to
talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
How about Amari, man?
Amani. Yeah.
Amari. It is Amari. You were right.
It is. Amari.
Oh,
okay.
My bad. Sorry. Shut up, Mo.
No, she's pretty incredible. She got a scholarship from Murray State when she was in 7th grade.
Wow.
So, if that tells you anything,
Racers know.
Get in on them early.
Yeah, her name has been out there for a couple years now. She's a sophomore right now, getting that scholarship offer, like you said, from UT that came in yesterday. She's had interest from South Carolina, UConn, and now that UT scholarship has come in. I mean, those are some of the biggest names you get in women's basketball. She's
they don't get bigger than those three.
I moved that the nomination cease.
Yeah, absolutely.
She can do it all on the court. She's an incredible ball handler. She plays great defense. She's an excellent shooter. I mean, there's just nothing she really can't do. And, you know, to be there as a sophomore already, no, she's got a whole 2 other years of high school basketball to play with those AAU seasons. I mean, it's frightening to think of what she can become. So UT is smart to get on her as a sophomore.
And they're smart, particularly as you consider the way recruiting has gone over the last few years and the number of in-state talents that have gotten out of this state. Looking at you, Ryan Howard. I cannot watch Kentucky and cannot watch her without getting pissed off all over again, to be honest. But so being able to get her offered early on and let her think on that is, I think, a great move on the part of Kelly Harper and her staff in Knoxville.
Yeah, and you think of some of the UT greats, names like Pat Summitt, who was born in Clarksville, Bashara Graves, who went to Clarksville High. The city's been good to UT, so Amari Berry could be the next in line.
Let's hope so.
That'd be fantastic. Love to see her in orange.
You know, I wanted to just get a real quick. Rossview's girls, are they the number 1 seed in that in their district?
They are, yeah. They beat Clarksville High twice, and then they also beat the number 1 seed out in the other district, District 14. That's Northwest. So they're going to see them in the region possibly. Rossview, they're the number 1 seed.
And,
so
and
so
they
wait
got
a minute.
Springfield now.
Clarksville is split into 2 different districts.
For the first time this year, it's bizarre. You got 4 teams from Clarksville in District 13 and another 2 in District 14. And you got
With who and who?
Down in I believe it's 2A that they're in, and then Clarksville Academy, of course, is in D2A.
But you've got multiple 4A teams in different districts in Clarksville.
Yep, it's weird. It doesn't make things easy for me because both of those tournaments are going to be going on at the same time.
Yeah, right. You can't just go to one place. You're gonna have to go to 2. It's not easy to duplicate yourself. Just ask us. We know. We've tried, Brady.
Been trying for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. Well, let's get into tonight's Division II Middle Region matchup. Clarksville Academy hosting Columbia Academy, and Clarksville Academy hosted the Bulldogs earlier this year. It was
back in December. And
Columbia Academy came away with a 47-44 win. But Brady, you know, as we were talking through our text message chain, that you feel like Clarksville Academy has improved since that time, and I'm sure Columbia Academy has as well. How do you feel like this Clarksville Academy team is approaching tonight with, you know, having coming off that loss from earlier in the year?
Yeah, so I was actually talking with Tyler Hickman, head coach of Clarksville Academy, earlier today. Blaine and I talked to him for our podcast that we were recording earlier today, and he told us that that Columbia Academy game that they played earlier this year, so that was a morning game on a Friday, and that was just and just the night before they had played Clarksville High, who, of course, that's a big city rivalry. That was the first time those 2 teams had played since the turn of the century. So that was obviously a huge game in front of a big crowd. Clarksville High is a team that, you know, is a big time contender to get to state again this year after getting there last year. So emotions were running high. They lost that game. It was a close game, and then they turn around the next morning and play Columbia Academy. So they think that they're in a better position now, of course, having a couple days to prepare for Columbia Academy. Of course, you're not playing a great 4A team the night before, but they've improved a lot. You know, Eddie Ricks is a Mr. Basketball finalist. He's averaging about 21, 22 points per game this season. He's their leading rebounder. He's really coming to his own defensively. He's 6'7", and I know Columbia Academy's got some size as well. So that's going to be a great matchup seeing him. But they've got some really good tertiary players as well. They actually just had a baseball. One of their players got a baseball scholarship from Austin Peay. That's Paris Pridgeon. He's a wing player for them. They got a guy who just committed to play at Lindsey Wilson for football, and Keith Richburg. He's one of their dominant post players. So they got a whole lot of multi-sport athletes, and that really shows in the different things that they're able to do. They win a lot with athleticism, but they're also very well coached. So Clarksville Academy, they're going to be a tough out for sure. But like you said, I mean, Columbia Academy beat them. So we know that these 2 teams are really good. Tyler Hickman really called Clarksville, or rather Columbia Academy, a 2 seed that's kind of in the 4 spot. So he knows that this is a really good team, and they're definitely not going to take them lightly.
Yeah, I think that's there's definitely something to be said for that 2 seed in the 4th spot. Talking with Brady McAtamney of Main Street Clarksville here on Main Street Sports Today about this Columbia Academy Clarksville Academy matchup tonight. And as you mentioned, Columbia Academy does have some size. 6'7" sophomore Griffin Cooper, one of 4 guys that they've got averaging in double digits, and any of them can go for 20 or 25 in a night, and they all have pretty much. Will Jackson, their senior forward, Jeremy Jackson, their freshman guard, no relation, by the way, and Gabe Davenport off the bench with like almost 80 3-pointers, and you'll know him by the mismatched shoes, by the way. Earlier in the year, he was wearing one red and one blue. The other night, he was wearing one white and one blue. So I don't know what he's going to come out with tonight, but I feel pretty positive they won't be the same color.
That'll be something to watch.
Absolutely. Keep an eye on that. Must be the shoes, Money.
Well, it's funny. I've written a story about that before.
You have indeed. You have indeed.
So,
nearly blew up our website.
Yeah.
You got a good shoe budget down in Columbia, huh?
Apparently.
Clearly. That's one of the things about that I was going to mention is Clarksville Academy held this Columbia Academy team to 47 points in that first matchup. Now, obviously, it was in the morning, but coming off of, probably a very physical and very exhausting game the night before, to be able to have that sort of defensive performance against a really good Columbia Academy offense is pretty impressive.
Now, let's keep in mind it was morning for Columbia Academy.
That's what I'm saying.
Well.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I get that it was in the morning, so you can, take that as you will, as far as what it takes to shoot in a new gym first thing in the morning. Of course, you got to drive up there too, so it was even earlier for them.
Yeah.
But the defense is what really this Clarksville Academy team can hang its hat on.
Yeah, they can actually. I mean, definitely the defense is a huge part. They just beat Good Pasture, I believe. I don't have the exact score in front of me, but it was about 46, 47 to 41. And Good Pasture, of course, a really good basketball team. I know they're missing Isaiah West, but they were still the regular season district champions in Middle District 4. And they held them to 41 points in that district championship, but they also beat Friendship Christian. I believe it was 66 to 61. So they can beat you either way. It's really going to be, how I think they're good at looking at what the other team does well and trying to play the opposite of that. So I think they're definitely going to look at trying to keep this game a defensive one, because like you said, Columbia Academy, they got a whole bunch of guys who can score. They got a whole bunch of guys who can shoot. So Clarksville Academy is probably going to see that, probably want to play a little bit slower, kind of try to slow that down, keep their shooters, kind of bagged up a little bit, want to make sure that they're the ones controlling the pace. And if they can do that, I think that's probably going to be a big advantage for Clarksville Academy.
All right, it's going to be a good one. So make sure to get up there if you don't have anything else going on this evening. Clarksville Academy hosting Columbia Academy. Brady McAtamney at Brady_MSP on Twitter. Check him out. And the MSP North podcast coming out tomorrow at not 1 o'clock, because it'll be there. Yeah, 1 o'clock, right before our show. So right before our show, check out the MSP North podcast wherever you get your podcasts and on our social medias. Brady, thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right, when we come back, we'll continue talking college hoops as Tennessee and Kentucky go at it last night, and Vanderbilt Auburn tonight, so it should be a good one. We'll be right back. Main Street Sports Today comes back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game, You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit customstonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Tune in Wednesdays at noon Central for Casey's Take on Sports. Casey Patrick, sports reporter for the Dixon Post and Cheatham County Exchange, who always has a take. It's Casey's Take on Sports. Comes out Wednesdays at noon on Main Street Media social pages and anywhere you get your podcasts. Now, back to Main Street Sports Today, live on location at the Lee Company studio from Columbia State Community College, Hall of Famer Will Patton and the kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Dadgum.
Blew my keyboard cover
Your
right
keyboard
off.
cover's done gone.
Yes.
I want, we get enough of Casey's take on Twitter on sports. I want to hear Casey's take on the Oscars. Can we get that?
I wonder what Casey had to say about last night.
I guess we find but they probably recorded it before
Before the
it
game?
came out today. So unfortunate.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, because I would love to.
That's unfortunate.
Tune in next week, guys. I'm sure he'll have a take on that.
Oh,
as well.
I'm
Yeah,
certain.
but he will have calmed down. He will have burned out by then. Trust me. Yeah.
Oh man! Hey, last night was a lot of fun. Tennessee gets the big win over Kentucky, and the under hits. Might have been by 1 point, but it hit 76-63. Yeah, that was right.
You said there'd be no math.
Well, I was impressed by exactly what we talked about. Zakai Ziegler was exactly what he needed to be. And
Justin Powell was exactly not.
Well, but
somebody said he was going to be the X factor, and he was 0 point scorer.
he had an assist.
There you go.
I think that was his only statistic of the night was an
Good
assist.
Lord, man. But they had 8 guys scoring double figures last night.
Exactly what Kentucky did to Tennessee at Rupp is what Tennessee did last night to Kentucky. Obviously, they didn't score 107 points, but I think they shot over 58% from the field. It was just an all-around great performance from the Vols on the hardwood, and Kentucky just could not shoot. They couldn't score with Tennessee, which we thought Tennessee maybe couldn't score with them. They couldn't score with the Vols.
They had a significant drought. I think they went 11 minutes without a field goal
in the first half.
And that was pretty much the death knell from them. But Vescovi, 18 points. 2 of 4 from 3. Kennedy Chandler, 17 points, 3 of 5 from 3, and he had another one that went in and out, and 14 each off
in
the
and out. It went all the way to the bottom of the net, and then came back.
Yeah,
all the way in.
And then 14 each, 14 points, 8 boards from Fulke, and 14 from Ziegler, both off the bench. So I mean, it's like somebody posted on Twitter last night, when they are playing like that, they can beat any team in the country.
Any team.
That's what I throw somebody out there. It don't matter who.
I mean,
when they're playing
you've seen them beat two top 4, 2 top 5 teams, Arizona and Kentucky.
Arizona was 6, but yeah, well, top 6 teams.
Arizona is looking at being a top 4 seed, and they're right there on the cusp of being a top 4 seed.
Yeah,
and it's just impressive. the way that this team has been able to, to make those type of games come to them, and they don't let the moment get too big for them. Of course, it's obviously easier when you're in your own arena, but this is a team that has a little bit extra, something different than I've seen from Rick Barnes' teams in the past. When you've got guys like Fulkerson who can step up, if he would play like that year-round, he would be an All-American. And then you've got what Jordan Josiah James has done and Zakai Ziegler in the last 10 ball games, being able to take over completely and get to the rim, draw fouls, get to the foul line, and then knock down the free throws, which is the most important part of getting to the foul line. That's where this Tennessee team beats you, is you have to guard all 22 feet around the rim.
And here's the thing. They win this game by 13 over Kentucky with 0 offensive contributions from Brandon Huntley Hatfield, 0 from Plavsic, only 8 from Josiah Jordan James. Just Jordan Josiah James.
I don't
Triple
Josiah,
J.
yeah, JJJ.
Yeah.
J Cube.
Yeah.
J Cube.
I mean, to win a game like that against a team that had beaten them the way they had the first time around, and I mean, they were balanced, but there were still folks that you would have expected to have to contribute that didn't really.
Yeah, I think mainly because Kennedy Chandler did. Kennedy Chandler was a guy. I think he and one other guy had like 23 of the
Vescovy.
Vescovy.
Mm-hmm.
Vescovy and Chandler had like 23 or 28 of the first half points from Tennessee. I mean, that was more than half of what Tennessee was able to put up. So and Vescovy, man, my goodness, that guy, when you need a shot, he's going to knock it down.
Yeah. He's been impressive, and you just feel like looking at that Tennessee team, it kind of feels like the classic cliche of the whole being greater than the sum of its parts to some degree.
It is completely, and that's one of the things they talked about on the broadcast last night, was how this is, Zakai Ziegler said, we're not an individual led team. We are willing to do whatever it takes to get the win. And I think that's the most important thing, is that no matter what, this Tennessee team is, if my role tonight is get the ball to the other guy, that's what I'm going to do. And that's what you have to be if you're going to be successful in the NCAA tournament.
Which they weren't last year.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Tonight, Vanderbilt heading down to the Plains to take on the Auburn Tigers. That's going to be an interesting one.
It really is, because, I mean, again, we've talked about it. Vanderbilt's been playing some pretty good ball here of late. And, Auburn, to be number 2 in the country, has not been consistently great.
Hey, there have been some interesting times.
Man. Tough day.
Tough day for some of the Chargers.
Yeah, one in particular. But
they're leading 1-0 on.
So there you go.
So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. We were talking about Vanderbilt and Auburn.
We were.
Yeah.
And this Auburn team is one of those teams where, if you can get them on a night where they're not focused, and tonight may be one of those nights, it could get dangerous for the Tigers. So, of course, maybe not. They just lost to Arkansas, and perhaps
they may be pretty focused.
Perhaps they're going to be. But Vanderbilt has, and Scottie Pippen Jr., period, no matter what, he's going to give them a chance, at least in the first half. If they can keep it close, I think that's what you want to see.
Auburn is in a stretch, though, where being focused may not necessarily be the issue. I mean, they've got Vanderbilt tonight. They go to Florida Saturday. They come back home for Ole Miss, and then they're at Thompson Bowling on February 26th. So they've got an opportunity to pick up a couple if they just don't implode here over the next little bit before they go to TBA.
And that's not a place you want to be right now. Undefeated at home is Tennessee.
Yeah.
So 14-0, and you get Auburn coming to your place. Auburn better take advantage of what they can now because we just saw them lose at Arkansas. TBA is not going to be an easy place to play.
I tell you what, man, that atmosphere last night. We talked about games a couple of weeks ago, top 5 games we wish we could have been at.
That would have been
last night. Would have been a fun ball game to be at. It just sounded. I mean, it came through on TV. It was pretty nuts.
I will tell you, I actually had to listen to it on the radio on my way home from trivia last night, and the radio broadcast, you could tell, was just absolute nuts. Bob Kessling does such a good job in basketball. He is a very good basketball play-by-play guy, and Bert does a great job, obviously, with color. And you never know what you're going to get from him, but it's always a blast to listen to. So, all right, it looks like it's about time to take a break, Mo. Halftime already. 1-0 here as we go to the bottom of the third inning at Dave Hall Field. Columbia State leading Freed Hardeman, and looks like we got a pitching change. Maybe not.
No.
Okay.
No, I think this same guy.
Same guy. So, yeah, we'll be back. It's halftime. Stick around. We've got Brett McMurphy coming up in the second half and some Alabama football drama on Twitter. So it's crazy. Stick around. We'll be right back on Main Street Sports Today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
It's halftime on Main Street Sports Today. Coming up in the second half, as you see the Brett McMurphy Action Sports Network, a lot to talk about, Chris and Mo. Conference realignment, Conference USA, all kinds of fun stuff. Looking forward to having him on the show for the very first time. But a nice, breezy, mild day at Columbia State. Is that accurate out there outside today?
Breezy and mild, yeah. I'd say that fits.
It's perfect quarter zip weather.
Yeah.
There you go.
No doubt. Yeah.
Listen, we love food on this show.
There's an understatement.
But I don't know that I don't know that. Well, McDonald's has apparently gotten to the Tex-Mex game, and
because why not?
There is a Grand McExtreme Nachos, a delicious sauce of cheddar cheese, tomato, onion, double meat, and nachos inside of a burger.
Inside of a burger?
No.
It is a double. It's 2 patties, then cheese, then tomatoes, then nachos, then cheese sauce, and then you put a bun on it. But it's only available in Spain.
You think those folks are going to eat that?
I don't know. I'd be curious.
When they've got real Spanish food.
Okay, but get this now. Putting chips on a sandwich is not foreign to me.
That's not a bad thing.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
No.
But I don't know that I'm putting nachos on a burger and eating this thing. I can't see myself doing that.
Again, my thing is you lost me at McDonald's, but
there are some things at McDonald's nowadays that I can handle because their burgers are getting a little bit better. But they're also getting more expensive, which is the biggest issue.
Like everything else.
yeah, right.
Yeah, nonetheless, I don't know. I don't know if I can handle that. So anyway, what else we got going on in the
oh
goodness gracious in the world going right now? I got nothing, man. I will say this though, here at I thought that you guys would help me out a little more on that McDonald's thing.
I got
Well,
nothing.
well,
on
I-
that.
I
I
can
got
look at
nothing
McDonald's.
for that.
You know,
I mean,
guys, they're promoting their hack menu. Have you guys
That's
seen
right.
these?
Yeah, we're like the land sea and what
Yeah.
is it?
Like a double cheeseburger or a Big Mac with a McChicken and a McFish.
All
Put it all
together.
together. You get those three, and then you put the chicken and the fish inside the Big Mac.
a little surf and turf and whatever else, huh?
Land,
Got
air,
him.
sea. Yep,
Mm,
something to that nature.
mm, mm.
And sausage egg McMuffin with a hash brown in it.
Now that one I can handle.
Yeah.
That's not
I'm here for that.
that's not revolting.
No, I
not
would
at all.
totally eat that. I've seen the double cheeseburger with like chicken nuggets on it. I've seen some people do that, which I don't hate that idea either.
I mean, do they have toddlers working on their menu?
Apparently, they have toddlers ordering from their menu.
Really?
Yeah, but they're promoting it. They've got commercials for this stuff. It's hey, whatever. You got to reinvent yourself, I suppose.
I guess.
Sometimes, I mean, McDonald's, like you said, McDonald's is McDonald's, so you know what you're getting, kind of. And so,
Yeah, okay.
and so for folks who don't, have never, I don't want McDonald's. Maybe they're trying to switch it up a little.
Good luck.
I don't know why you would. Heck, McDonald's is McDonald's. I mean,
Well,
number
you
one
can't
fast
argue
food
with
chain
their
in the world.
success, though, too. You can't argue with
That's
their
what I'm saying. So I don't know that you need to, but whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk. Let's talk about some drama, college football drama, the entire second half. So stick around. Main Street Sports Day returns after this.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
Second half of Main Street Sports today. Coming up, all college sports, college football in particular, including our guest, Brett McMurphy, Action Sports Network. So stay tuned for that. Plus, Wild and Wacky Wednesday. Now back to the remote Lee Company studio from Columbia State Community College with the Hall of Famer. Here's the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Welcome back in. Second half getting ready to start as we move to the top of the fourth inning with a 1-0 lead for the Chargers and a 7-inning affair in game one. So, Mo, you've not seen this drama, but apparently the University of Alabama's former quarterbacks, transfer extraordinaire Blake Barnett and David Cornwell have apparently gotten into it pretty heavy on Twitter. And this is some interesting stuff, man.
Okay, first of all, I just have to tell you, I do not remember David Cornwell.
Because he never played.
Okay, and I barely remember Blake Barnett. I do.
Do you remember him at South Florida?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So
All right.
here's the drama, and apparently they thought that maybe Auburn was getting too much pub.
A little too much run.
So Clint Lamb, who.
Clint Lamb.
Yeah, at Clint R. Lamb is a reporter for On 3 Sports for Alabama.
Okay.
He tweets a picture of Cornwell, Barnett, and somebody else. I'm not number 6. I don't remember who that one was, but anyway,
Six.
It was
Is it Jacob.
no, Coker was 14.
Okay.
I have no idea who the third person is in this tweet. Nonetheless,
Are you sure he's even a quarterback?
he may not be a quarterback. I don't know. But he says, this seems like ages ago. Well, David Cornwell tweets, I was in the quarterback room and Blake Barnett didn't have much talent. Any other questions about the 14 to 16 seasons?
Oh, good Lord.
And to which Blake Barnett replies, From breaking into my dorm and trashing my room multiple times to trashing me on social media. Glad to see you've become more secure in yourself. Hope all is well with you too, Davey. So Cornwell replies, is handing over a binder of team, quote, allegations to the NCAA so you can transfer without penalty, trashing a program, asking for a friend.
I'll leave it at that. Yeah, that's a pretty good place to leave it, I guess.
Folks,
wow.
If you thought the Auburn stuff was messy, this is not, at least it doesn't have to do with the team now.
Let's just get these guys back to back and let them step off 12 paces or whatever.
I mean,
that seems like the best way to handle that one.
Do you know what makes you think? The Andy Griffith episode where he has to count in French.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "No, I learned some French when I was in the war."
There we go.
And it's like,
that's craziness right there.
oh man, this is insane. And then add on top of that the drama we're about to talk about with Brett McMurphy and UAB and Conference USA. Every major football team in the state of Alabama is in the middle of some drama.
Well, it ain't but 3.
Well, that's a lot for everybody having drama in a month. I mean, come on, man.
In the same month.
Off season in Alabama, football.
There's
no off season. There's no college football off season in Alabama. Are you kidding me? This is absolutely nuts. I've never seen two former players like this just absolutely
going at it in the public eye, like
beefing on Twitter.
Like, dude, pick up the phone. We don't want to see all that.
Clearly, he did pick up the phone and tweeted it right out.
Yeah, there you go.
So, Twitter beef is always fun, typically, especially if, you are in a public beef. The problem is when you get blocked and don't know why, Mo. A la Jerry Stackhouse.
Not a problem.
It's just like
not a problem at all. I mean, I'd love to know why.
I'd love to know what I said.
Yeah, but
the same thing. I don't know what I said to Brando, but I'm one of the many
who
are blocked by Brando.
That's a take a ticket, take a seat kind of thing right there. I'm sure you'd love to know what you said to Judge Dobbs.
Oh,
too,
that's the one.
That's the one.
I'm like, what did I do to Dobbs? Dobbs is great. I love that guy.
I have no idea what I even remotely could have said about Stack. That that's funny. It's funny every time I think about it.
So
I would like to think that the basketball coach of a Southeastern Conference program would have better things to do than to worry about what I'm saying on Twitter. But clearly, for at least one of the 14, that ain't the case.
Well, Eli Apple gets into the world of Twitter beefs because did you see Annie Agar's tweet?
No.
Such an incredible experience providing coverage at my first Super Bowl, unlike Eli Apple. Phenomenal. It doesn't get much better than that. Okay. And Eli's out here retweeting some stuff that we can't say on the air.
Shut it down. Shut it down. I'm done.
Twitter.
This app is free, y'all.
It's for free. You have to pay $0
for this.
It's the best source,
and it's well worth the investment. Goodness, ooh, bitch.
I mean, are we really out here in 2022?
That's
beefing with our former teammates and with people we're supposed to cover. I mean, I'm not trying to. Now, I got into a little bit of a tussle this morning with a Kentucky fan because they think that their football program is somehow better than Tennessee's, although they've won 3 games in the last 12 years against Tennessee in the worst run of Tennessee's history.
It's funny. It's funny. Even Kentucky's best teams haven't beaten Tennessee. And
dude, you went 1-2 against Jeremy Pruitt. Sit down. I mean, come on now. You went 1-2 against Jeremy Pruitt, the only team he had a winning record against.
Wow. And this is good Kentucky football.
And this is good Kentucky football. So you tell me what's going on.
Right.
I mean, but anyway, I digress. I just wanted to mention that the Twitter beef from Alabama, that they thought, hey, Auburn can't have all the good drama.
Well, I mean, does Nick Saban call both those guys and tell them to chill out, or how does that work?
That's a good question. I mean,
Delete your accounts, both of you.
What's coming? What's going to come out of this? I mean, with the NCAA quote allegations and all. I mean, is Blake Barnett going to go?
It's interesting.
Who knows, man? Anyway, we're here at Dave Hall Field. Was that a
line drive?
He caught it.
Yep.
Line drive catch in the air, tags the runner, and gets out of it with a double play. And we go to the bottom of the fourth. Man, 2.5 innings away from the end.
Don't say it.
Look, we're 2.5 innings away.
All right.
That means we have to play the bottom halves. Anyway, so we have Brett McMurphy coming up because we want to talk about this Conference USA thing, and we're going to talk about it at length with him. But I wanted to mention before we get into that, did you see Matt Brown's tweet? I don't know for any of you who are out there and getting ready for the NCAA 23 video game, but James Madison, Jacksonville State, and whoever else is moving up. I can't remember who it was, but all three of those will actually be in the game. They're going to do stadium renderings and everything.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty cool that they are going to get those last few teams in. So in 23, you'll have full Conference USA, and I guess Marshall, Old Dominion, and Southern Miss will be in the Sun Belt.
Maybe. Maybe not. We'll find out in the next segment. But also, I talked to Matt Brown for a little bit yesterday afternoon.
Did you?
Actually, and we need to talk offline before we talk online about what we talked about. So,
yeah, apparently a player from Troy is helping get this thing out of off the ground. So make sure to follow Extra Points blog. It's always a great follow, and we'll talk to Matt at some point in the near future, I hope.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, let's take a quick break, Mo, because we do have Brett on the other side of the break, and we will get to him and talk through UAB and not UAB. Marshall, Old Dominion, and Southern Miss.
Not UAB.
UAB is not going anywhere.
No, don't. Let's not make it any worse than it
They've
is.
not moved to the AAC yet, so. Yeah. But if this goes through, they might.
Goodness gracious! Yeah.
It could be crazy. So stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll return after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We head back now to the Lee Company studio, live on location this afternoon, Columbia State Community College, with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's the Thunderdrop kid from Alabama, Chris Yap.
Welcome back to Dave Hallfield on the campus of Columbia State Community College here in Columbia. It's a nice day out. Got a few clouds, blue skies. What a beautiful day for baseball in the middle of February.
You couldn't ask for a better day on February 16th. I mean, you could.
You could ask for it, but you probably wouldn't get it.
No.
Basketball coach Winston Neal in the house as he's getting ready to take on Trevecca later this evening at the Webb. So looking forward to a great day of sports here at Columbia State. As
I was just telling him about the Braves World Series Championship Trophy Tour that is coming north in a couple of months, and letting him know about a couple of stops.
Hey.
He's excited.
Can't wait, man.
We're excited.
Heck yeah, we are.
A couple of different reasons, actually. But
Big
we'll
announcement.
get more into that later.
Big announcement coming on that later.
Mm-hmm.
So looking forward to that. Mo, let's get into some college football drama because there hasn't been any this
offseason. College football drama?
Yeah. Hasn't been any drama, especially, in the Southeast at all. But so joining us now to talk about Conference USA football and all that is coming with it, including their football schedule that was released yesterday, Action Network's Brett McMurphy.
Before we introduce Brett McMurphy, I just want to read this one tweet from yesterday. Can't wait for Marshall to win both Conference USA and the Sun Belt this fall.
And I guess it's possible because at this point, who knows? So we'll get into it here. Brett McMurphy. Brett, thanks for taking some time with us today. We really appreciate you, man.
Yeah, you got it. I appreciate you having me.
Well, Brett, Middle Tennessee State is my alma mater. It's right in our backyard here, just outside of Nashville. And so obviously a lot of this Marshall, Old Dominion, Southern Miss stuff threatens to impact the Blue Raiders in some way, shape, or form. Where do you see this going? And how did it get so antagonistic, maybe?
I think that the three Conference USA schools that are leaving, they basically have got with all of their legal counsel, and they believe that it's worth it to go ahead and make the move, July 1st and begin playing the Sun Belt in 2022. Obviously, Conference USA disagrees with that. I think it's just, I know a lot of people taking it personally. I think it's simply a business decision. And then what makes it even trickier is Conference USA bylaws indicate that schools are required to give 2 seasons notice that they are leaving, and then they would forego all revenue each of those 2 years. However, there's no specific amount in that. It's not, okay, if you leave, it's a $5 million extra fee, it's $3 million, it's $100 million, whatever the number is, there's no number. It's up for, the different parties to figure that out. So I guess those 3 schools figured, well, we're not going to give 2 years notice. We're going to give a year notice, and we'll let the lawyers figure out, what it's going to cost us to get out. And we're going to go ahead and leave. And we've seen this happen with other conferences, but we haven't seen other conferences fight it this way, where Conference USA puts out the schedule and has, Southern Miss, ODU, and Marshall on the schedule. You mentioned that the tweet I sent out about Marshall will be able to win both Conference USA and the Sun Belt. I had a couple of folks with Marshall ties reach out and say that they thought that was my tweet of the year. So I'd like to thank the Academy for
it very well may be the tweet of the year at this point.
I'm not sure it's just your tweet of the year, Brett.
There's no way any of those schools are going to play in Conference USA next year. I mean, Conference USA is all their posturing is for legal reasons. I've talked to people on both sides of this. Everyone understands that. There's no way those three schools are going to play in Conference USA in 2022. And kind of an offshoot real quick of this, ironically, is for the schools leaving Conference USA for the Sun Belt this year, they actually decreased their bowl chances because the Sun Belt only has 5 bowl affiliations. Conference USA has 7. So those schools going to the Sun Belt will now battle for 5 bowl bids among 13 schools. James Madison's not eligible this year, while the 11 remaining schools in Conference USA will be able to divvy up 7 bowl bids. So it's kind of an offshoot to this, which is kind of hurting these schools that are leaving, but they've made it clear they want out sooner rather than later.
Wow.
It's unfortunate for UAB specifically because they're supposed to play Marshall and Southern Miss both at home this year. So that's unfortunate for the Blazers. But
and for their season ticket holders.
And for any season ticket holders. Do you think that there is any chance that there could be some of these games played as non-conference games? Or do you think it's like the OVC had to do this past year where they have to play conference opponents
home and
home, and one of them is not a conference game?
As far as the home and home, I don't think we'll see that because again, the Sun Belt Conference USA still has 11 members, so they can work out an 8-game schedule pretty easily with that. Not easily, but they can do that without having to play home and home. I don't think you'll see divisions in Conference USA in 2022. And as far as the Sun Belt, they obviously with 13 schools, they don't need home and home. It could get tricky though for the non-conference games. I obviously all these schools already have non-conference games. I think they'll keep them, but Conference USA simply is going to have to blow up their schedule and redo it without those 3 schools. But I've been told that there won't be divisions for Conference USA in 2022. And then obviously next year, you've got the new members coming in, Liberty, some of the FCS schools, and then you've got a large number of Conference USA schools leaving for the Americans. So it will look totally different again in 2023.
Yeah, Jacksonville State heading up to the Conference USA. So now Mo and I have an issue because he's an MTSU alum. I went to Jacksonville State. So animosity on this show is about to get real heavy in the next couple of years, Brett. But you mentioned not having divisions and that sort of thing. That's a positive for Conference USA. What does that do for the Sun Belt? They have 14 teams now. I mean, that's going to be a struggle in and of itself. I mean, I guess the Big Ten and the SEC have kind of put the blueprint out there, but it's still a lot for a conference of that size.
Yeah, it is. But from sources that I've talked to, they already pretty much have the divisions decided for the Sun Belt in 2022. Basically, Southern Miss will go to the West, then the West, and then in the East will be Marshall, ODU, and James Madison. So they'll be fine with those 2 17 divisions. And I know you mentioned that you got to tie to Middle Tennessee. What's funny is if it wasn't for Middle Tennessee saying no, Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky would have been in the MAC. So we really would have had a lot of musical chairs as far as Conference USA, concerns in the coming years.
Speaking with Brett McMurphy, I'm sorry, Brett McMurphy, not the wrestler.
I was about to say.
No. Speaking with Brett McMurphy of the Action Network here on Middle Tennessee Sports Today, Main Street Sports Today. Good Lord. It's the baseball.
It's
man.
early season for everybody.
Yeah, the baseball's got me all rattled, man. But Brett, where do you see Conference USA going from here? I mean, obviously they've got a handful of teams online to come in for 23. Do you think they are done, or do you think they're still looking to try to add? And if so, who?
That's a great question. I think they're looking at any and all options, but when you look around, there really aren't that many options out there. The media rights for Conference USA is, there's 10 conferences and they're at number 10. And that's why those schools are leaving to go to the Sun Belt. It's not like they're going to double their media rights deal going to Sun Belt, but they believe they will make more there, and they just think there's a brighter future. The most logical place for Conference USA to look is to find any FCS schools that are willing to make the move. Other than that, there simply aren't any independents out there that they can get, or maybe that they want to get. I mean, New Mexico State would be a possibility. You've already got UTEP out there. But to be very frank, New Mexico State has struggled in the past 2 years. They have Jerry Kill on board this year. Maybe they improve. But if you bring in a school, you don't want to bring in a school that hasn't done very well. UConn is, too far north. I don't think that's realistic. Again, they have not had much of any success. And then UMass, kind of in the same boat. Liberty obviously is trending upward with 2 3s and what they've done there. They will join Conference USA next year in 2023. So they got the best independents that's available. BYU and Notre Dame obviously are off the table. But other than that, if they want to expand any more, they've got to look to the FCS ranks, and then it's not quite as easy. One, you got to find schools that want to make the move, and two, they got to be able to afford making a move, because it's a total different game playing at the FBS level compared with the FCS level. And, also they want to try to keep it as geographically centered as they can. And that's not always easy. So it's a number of factors, and it's hard for Conference USA. But the number one thing they want to do is they want to stay together. Because if they stay together, then whatever these exit fees that are negotiated, they will then recoup that money. But if Conference USA folded, and I don't think that will happen, but if they did, then there's nobody to pay these exit fees, and so these schools would basically get off, very easily by changing conferences.
Man, this has been a wild upheaval. Thank you, Texas and Oklahoma. Man,
yeah, that's right. Texas and OU don't make the move. None of this happens.
That's what I was going to ask. Did you think it would reach the level of FCS schools like James Madison and Jacksonville State making the move up when that happened, or was it just, I don't know. Did you see
how far did
deep?
you expect this to reach when it was Texas and OU?
I expected Conference USA and Sun Belt to be impacted, definitely, because once something happens at the top, it's a domino effect, and it's going to trickle all the way down. So when the Big 12 lost 2 teams, okay, they've got to get some replacements. Well, they're not going to get anybody from the Power 5 leagues to leave. So where are they going to look? Well, probably the American. Obviously, they got teams from the American, and BYU is very attractive. So now the Americans got to reload. Where do they look? They can't look up. They got to look down as far as media rights value. So where do they look? They look at Conference USA. So they grabbed Conference USA. They tried to get some teams from the Mountain West. They stayed pat. So now, what the Sun Belt did, though, is they actually, some people probably don't like it, but I think it was very smart of them. They went on the aggressive, and they saw kind of all these moves that were going to be made, and kind of how all the chess pieces were moved around, or checker pieces, whichever you prefer. And they said, look, we can either stay put and wait for teams to get plucked from our league, or we can go after some teams and strengthen our conference. And that's kind of what they did. But yeah, as far as your initial question, yeah, anytime this happens, whether it's Missouri and Texas A&M going to the SEC, or whether it was Rutgers and Maryland going to the Big Ten, there was always it always trickles down, and it impacts everybody. And it wasn't that long ago. Maybe some of your younger listeners don't remember this, but the WAC, used to have 16 teams in their conference, but they got picked apart, and now those teams are scattered all over the country, from the American to the Mountain West to Conference USA to all over the place. So, unfortunately, when one of these big boys makes a move, it's not their intention to disrupt the rest of college football athletics, but that's exactly what happened.
Man, it's really interesting to watch this thing happen. And here's the thing: is it doesn't just affect football. I mean, every other sport is affected as well.
That's the thing that a lot of people lose, I think, Brett, is, again, it's not just football. It's girls tennis, women's tennis as well. I mean, it's across the board. And I mean, football pays for a lot of it, but still, it's not just football that is impacted by this. And when you think about some of these midweek contests for some of these, quote, non-revenue or lesser revenue programs and that kind of thing, I mean, that's when it really kind of gets untenable, I would think, for some of these schools.
Yeah, well, I think one big difference that we've seen in the past few years and probably going forward in the future is when we see these conferences change up and you've got different teams in these conferences, and conference the American is a perfect example. You got teams in Virginia, you got teams in Texas, you got them spread. I guess that's why they're American, because they're basically all over America. But what you see with the Olympic sports, the non-football sports, is they kind of decided, okay, we're not going to send the women's tennis team halfway across the country to play a dual match. So what they kind of do is they regionalize the schedules as far as the regular season, and then basically they get everybody together for their respective conference tournaments. So they kind of have changed the tune on that. But yeah, you bring up a great point. Football is the focal point. It's the engine that drives the bus. But it impacts all these other sports and all these other schools, and it changes them drastically. But I do know that a lot of these conferences have decided to kind of, instead of having home and homes and all of these different non-revenue sports, they've kind of decided, look, it's not fair for our student athletes. That's how they spin it. But more importantly, it's too costly to do that. So they kind of say, okay, let's just play your regular season games or matches against schools that are in our footprint, and that, therefore you're not having to fly all over the country just to play a regular season duel or track meet or volleyball match, or basketball game, or whatever it may be.
Brett McMurphy of the Action Network here on Main Street Sports Today. Brett, we would be remiss if we didn't at least ask you for your initial reaction, or are you surprised that Brian Harsin is still the football coach at Auburn University?
I'm not, because I'm based in Tampa, so I'm not hunkered down in Auburn. But just from the people that I talked to, it seems pretty obvious to me. They got to the point where they wanted to get rid of him, and then they got to the point where they figured out how much money it was going to cost. And then they got to the point where nobody was willing to put up the money. And so then it's like, okay, kumbaya, let's everyone work together to find Harsin and make him successful. So I guess, am I surprised? Yes and no, but I'm not surprised when they decided they didn't have the money. I guarantee if they had the money, they were willing to spend the money. Let me put it that way. If they were willing to spend the money, they would have made the move. Cooler heads prevailed, or smaller wallets prevailed.
One of the two, right?
Stick with it, but no matter what they say, look, successful next year if he wins 9 or 10 games, no issue. If he goes 6-6 again, he's gone. You can spin it however you want. That's the bottom line.
Or he could win 9 or 10 games and then he leaves.
He wouldn't be in this position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Brett, thanks so much for taking some time with us today. We appreciate your insight on Conference USA, Sun Belt, and everything that goes with that. We look forward to talking to you with you again sometime, and good luck on this off season that has been anything but an off season.
You got it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. When we come back, we give you the weirdest and wildest news from across the world. It's Wild and Wacky Wednesday right here on Main Street Sports Today. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
It's Wild and Wacky Wednesday on Main Street Sports today. Now to the two zaniest guys this side of the Duck River. We take you back live to Columbia State Community College in our roaming Lee Company studio. Here's Mo and Chris.
Welcome back in. It is the bottom of the fifth inning, and Columbia State added a run to their total. Is now 2-0 Chargers here.
After a two-out triple to left.
A two-out triple should have been standing up. He slid, but it didn't have to. And so, yeah, here we are. And Columbia State on the verge of remaining undefeated, at least. So, should be interesting. Keep it here. We'll probably at least see the end of this one. I'll give you the weirdest and wildest news from across the world on Wild and Wacky Wednesday, and we'll start in New York, where I wish I could tell you. I can't pronounce this guy's name. Wyvern? Wyvern? Wyvern
That's
Flat.
what I would go with, yeah.
Wyvern Flat watches television and rolls over. Oh, no, that's the pig's name. Ellie is a pot logo.
Ellie is the pig. Wyvern is the guy,
the owner.
The owner of Ellie. Wyvern Flat owns Ellie. Okay.
Wyvern Flat owns Ellie, a 110-pound pig, and the pig is, quote, family. He said it's an emotional support animal, but officials in upstate of Kanahawari, New York, see it very differently. To them, the pig is a farm animal, and he is harboring it in the village illegally. So,
why do they care? Why do they care? I mean, do officials have a luau planned or something, or what?
They're wanting to get on that. They're wanting to get on that pig in the ground that JP's been talking about.
JP's been talking about for a year and a half.
Either that or they're vegan and they got something against the pig.
I guess there's. I
don't. So anyway, apparently it could be headed to criminal court here soon. It's but pig partisans who believe the animal should be respected more as companions instead of just a food source say that's not accurate.
Is this Piga instead of PETA?
Yeah, it's Piga. Quote, Flat said, I could never dream of giving away somebody who's part of my family.
Yeah,
she's very smart. She's more intelligent than my dogs.
Okay.
You guys gonna give up your pet pig, or no?
I mean, if I'm gonna have a pet pig, then no, I'm not gonna.
You're not giving it up.
Yeah. No.
Oh man.
Come and take it, right?
There you go. Come and take it. Exactly. Folks, we moved to Russia now, where a security guard is accused of drawing eyes on a Russian gallery's painting.
Falling eyes.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
A security guard at a Russian art gallery is reportedly facing criminal charges after being accused of drawing eyes on an avant-garde painting from the 1930s that he had been hired to protect. 3 figures by Soviet artist Anna Leporskaya was on loan to the Yeltsin Center in some city that I can't pronounce when the guard drew eyes on 2 of the painting's eyeless figures with a ballpoint pen.
Yeah, he was bored, right?
Basically, yeah.
I guess he was bored, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, they said he was bored. You know, the painting side by side, it was very minuscule. It was a light touch.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to be up on it to see it.
Yeah.
But
Still.
there weren't supposed to be eyeballs on these paintings, and yet now there are, in fact, eyeballs on these paintings.
On these paintings that are nearly 100 years old.
Yeah. They're
They had eyes back then. It's not far-fetched.
His motives are still unknown, but the administration believes it was some kind of lapse in sanity, according to exhibition curator Anna
That's one way of putting it.
Reshetkina.
Had a precursor to the filing in the court.
Well, see, they screwed up because you don't say that. You don't say that he had a lapse in sanity because now you have given him a temporary insanity defense.
Insanity. That's what I'm saying.
What an idiot!
If that is in fact a defense in Russia.
Yeah, the old say anything.
Well, that's in Russia. Who knows?
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
The painting was reportedly insured for about $1 million and was sent to Moscow for restoration. The center said the damage can be repaired.
Yeah.
So at least the ballpoint pen can come out of the painting.
So are they collecting on insurance?
I would assume not. I mean, they may not have to. Insurance may pay for the restoration.
Maybe. Yeah.
But
that's crazy.
That's talk about wild and wacky.
Fitting.
Okay, I'm gonna go with this one because I don't want to end on the super bowel. Yeah. We've seen protesters at the Canadian border who they've tried to make their lives difficult in Canada for the Canadian truckers, and whether you're for it or against it doesn't matter here because in New Zealand they have another option. Let me tell you what New Zealand's doing to upend protesters. They just play the Macarena on loop.
Ooh. Hey, Macarena.
Hey, if it's either that or a SWAT team, I figure the Macarena is probably more.
I think that's probably the more palatable option of the two.
Well, it's probably also the most effective.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, DJ Yowza.
And I play it.
Is this still in your repertoire as a DJ?
It is.
It is, in fact. Let me tell you how I do it though, because I will play something like the Cha-Cha Slide or some other.
Okay.
And I'll say, I'll play the Cha-Cha Slide, and I'll say, all right,
loosen them up.
All right, older generation, let's teach them our version of the Cha-Cha Slide from back in the day, and then we'll play the Macarena, and I'll do about 1.5 minutes of it because that's about all I can stand.
Right.
But could you imagine hours? Do I what? Great
participation.
Great participation. Yeah, most everybody will stick around for after the Cha-Cha Slide to teach the younger people who don't know what it is. How to do the Macarena. So it works out, but about 1.5 minutes is all I can stand. So hours on hours? No, thank you.
No.
I would be leaving pretty soon. So well done, New Zealand. There you go. I guess that's going to do it for today's show, guys. What a good show. We did not make it to the other. Well, we've now made it to the top of the
through
sixth.
5 full. We are through 5 full of a 7-inning game 1, and that's as far as we are going to get on these airwaves.
That's right. So
Chargers lead 3-0 though.
Picked up 2 in the bottom of the 5th there. So we
all
appreciate
with 2 outs.
All with 2 outs. Yep. We appreciate you hanging out with us here at Dave Hall Field on the campus of Columbia State. Make sure to check MainStreetMurray.com for all of your news and sports coverage. Main Street Preps as well from Brady McAtamney tonight. from Clarksville Academy, of course, and then follow at Brett_McMurphy. We appreciate that as well. So you guys come back with us tomorrow. We'll be back same bat time, same bat channel on Main Street Sports today. For Mo and JP, I'm Chris Yousling. Have a great day, and we'll see you then.